So the question is, Crown, I've got no time to trade, missed all bounces because could go down more, fear. Can you give me an opinion on one, position sizes? Miguel is saying that he only trades spot and he goes all in, always, it sounds like. And he tries to maximize ROI. Well, that's a very noble consideration. If wrong, I hold, but it can still suck. Okay, so let's answer this one first, and then we'll go off of number two. Okay, position sizes. Does it ever make sense to go all in? Absolutely fucking not. As a trader, if you're an investor, different sort of thing. But even then, I would still think, that's just going to be unnecessary risk. Okay, so you actually have a couple of questions tied up in this first one to begin with. You try to maximize ROI. Okay, if wrong, I hold, but it can suck. That's not maximizing ROI. Okay, so first off, your first part of your of your comment is like it's not. It actually doesn't make sense when you put it to the test. And I'm not saying this to step on your toes or anything like that, but think about this. If your goal is to maximize your ROI, so this is your user defined goal, then holding, if you're wrong, is that wise? Absolutely fucking not. You have to have areas. You have to have some sort of criteria that would invalidate your current idea. Something that tells you, hey, this is not going to work out. Because if your goal is to maximize your ROI, then you need to be getting out of these trades that you end up holding for a long time because you are spending your opportunity cost on being stuck in a shit trade when you could have gotten out and potentially positioned yourself better. For better or worse. Now, this obviously comes down to strategy question as well, which maybe you don't even have. You don't really go into anything for that. So I don't know what you're basing your trades off of, but certainly it would be a very, very good idea to fill out the trade checklist if you haven't already, because it's going to force you to identify what you're exactly looking for, because maximizing ROI is not like a trading plan. It's something that is going to be a byproduct of a good trading plan, obviously, but that's not a fucking trading plan because you don't have any metrics to kind of gauge yourself by that are tangible that you actually have control over when you're trading yourself, because you obviously do not have control over price. I mean, none of us do. No singular person does have control over price. I mean, this is a fucking world market after all. You don't know who's the bigger whale. Anyways, that's another conversation for another time. Anyways, more importantly, position sizing for that. Or sorry, actually, no, we need to tie up that loose end first. Okay, so if you are going to have a trading plan, then naturally speaking, you're going to have some sort of indications that tell you when to go in because you actually have an edge and it's going to give you what you're looking for. And then that is also going to be mediated by whatever whatever price you're targeting, or some sort of criteria that tells you, hey, this move that I was looking to play has mostly played out and it's time for me to get the hell out now because it's probably not going to go more in my direction, or I've essentially fulfilled what I was looking for. And then also you need to have some sort of an area, some sort of criteria that essentially invalidates your trade idea so that you can get out and potentially reposition yourself, assuming that you see another one of those good signals that you were first basing your trade off of, which it sounds like you probably didn't do to begin with. Otherwise you would not be in that trade, which is obviously you said is going against you and you're holding, but it can suck. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Again, opportunity cost is a real thing, and you need to factor in if you're going to be a trader, you need to factor in what could I have made, what could I have done besides being in the shit trade, because you're not just in dead money, you're also losing money because you technically could be in something else that is moving in your direction. And the way that I think is that, that's actually me losing money on like two fronts now. I'm losing time, which is the only thing that we can never get back in life, and then I'm also losing money because I could have actually been in a trade that was working for me during that fucking time as well. So that needs to be set up. As far as position sizing goes, going all in is obviously never a fucking good idea. Now, it also depends. I also understand that it's a bit of a nuanced conversation as well. For some people, going all in, if they have like $1,000 net worth and they're young, it's not a big deal because they're a fucking kid, and and it's not that much money, and you can work for more over the time of your life, and maybe there's just asymmetrical reward for that potential risk. There's definitely some merit to that, and I know that some people do that, especially on the younger side. But once you get a little bit, once you get a little bit older, once you have a little bit more of a net worth, once you have a little bit more, just umph to your being, I suppose, to your financial wealth, then you need to think of yourself as like slowly kind of navigating the waters. You can't be going all in at that level. Now, this is going to be something that is, defined by yourself, but I'd say that level probably happens around 50,000 to 100,000 bucks. You can't be going fucking all in and risking it all at that level, in my opinion, and expect to like grow larger over time, because it just takes one trade to wipe you out. You can't be living and dying by the sword. It's a terrible way to do it. And I'm sure that several people here, or they're probably not going to be here, but because they're already washed out, but people who have done that and have survived, they will very likely tell you that is a great way to get wrecked. Because what happens if you get a March 2020 situation where Bitcoin dumps all the way? If we can just go right on over here, let's say you bought because looks good, bro, over here, and then it just dumps 50% in your face. Are you gonna hold that whole way through? I mean, if you do it on spot, you're not gonna get liquidated, obviously, but holy shit, man, like what happens if you have if this is all your money and then you have like, I don't know, your rent to pay or some sort of life situation happens, you might find yourself in a really, really tricky situation. And for whatever reason, those usually coincide with each other. So I think that's a terrible idea, to be honest with you. I think that you really shouldn't even risk more than like a few percent of your net worth after a certain level. It can make more sense if certain things are in order, but that's not for me to say. And I do like to come at this from a little bit more of a subdued and conservative standpoint, because look, if you make a bad trade and it's like 5% of your net worth, it's not going to fucking wreck you for life. It's not going to change your life, most likely. If you do it with like 20%, it will. If you do it with 50%, you're goddamn right it will. If you do it with 100%, it absolutely will. So, you really have to consider that, because you just don't know what unforeseen events can happen. Anyways, going on to the next portion of your question, how do better set up if wrong? Well, basically, we actually kind of already answered that. You need to have a fucking plan, man. If you don't have a plan, you can expect that this is going to continually happen until you get one of those catastrophic situations where the stars align and then you get washed out, and just, it's a disaster, man. It's very fucking sad. And believe me, we all think that it can't happen to ourselves. I've definitely thought that in the past, and I was wrong. And I'm sure other people can assure you of that as well. I get emails of this sometimes of people who explain their situation, and it's fucking sad, man. Like it's very, very sad. And I'm not talking about this on stream to make them feel worse. It's just, this is important to kind of espouse to other people out there in this sort of a venue, because it can and will happen to you if you put yourself in that position. Absolutely. Anyways, you come on to say, could you please help me add more context to super chat above, that I simply don't have time to check the charts lately. If you don't have time to check the charts, man, and if you're going to trade, you're sorry, this one makes me mad. This one makes me really fucking mad. Okay, so you don't have time to check the charts, and you're going to trade. Well, if you're trading like low term time frames where you need to be checking the charts, like, oh my fucking god, man. Look, you're playing Russian roulette with your goddamn finances, sir. You have a chance to use this in a very powerful way in order to create a living for yourself, perhaps for the rest of your life. That could maybe even change your life too, if you really put the effort towards it. But you're like, I don't have time to check the charts, but I'm just going to punt this trade anyways. Like, what the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking, like, think about that. Let's say you were just going to go to a financial advisor and they'd say, yeah, man, well, I'm pretty busy this week. I'm going on vacation, so I'm not going to be checking the charts, but I'm just going to throw your money in this. Would you trust that person? You'd say, hey, man, fuck you. I'm not giving you my money. You're crazy. You're fucking insane, sir. So it also depends. Maybe you're not trading on very low term timeframes. Maybe you're trading on a monthly schedule. In that case, perhaps that can still make sense, but you still have to be able to be adherent to certain criteria that can happen within the charts, or that can happen just in whatever venue that would invalidate your trade. You need to have that set in. Perhaps that means having a stop loss. And in fact, I would strongly hope that would entail that. But perhaps I'm also putting my own points of view onto that at the same time as well. So maybe I don't need to be as harsh with that. But if you are trading lower term timeframes, you can't trade and you can't check the charts all the time, or even like on the daily. That can't work. You're just giving yourself up to unnecessary risk, in my opinion. and then you come back to say, just that I have zero time to check the charts lately. Look, that is no fucking excuse, man. That is no fucking excuse. That's like expecting, that's like saying, look, man, I wanna look like Z's. I wanna look like fucking Z's, bro. I'm gonna be Z's, bro. I'm gonna be the next Z's, bro. That's exactly right. And then you don't go to the gym. You say, I don't have time to go to the gym. And then also there's like a financial consequence as well. You know, like, I don't know, you enter into a competition and it's going to be for money. You have to pay like $100,000 to do it. Like, you can't do that, man. Come on. You know that logically. You know that logically. I'm sure that you do. Anyways, I hope that answers that in a somewhat respectful way. And please do come back if I did miss something in that, and we can readdress that.